name is Michael Salazar. This is Traveling with Michael. I am a travel agent with Travelmation Travel Company, one of the nation's fastest growing travel agencies. Um, Today's episode, I kind of want to talk to you all about groups and what groups are. But before we do that, I'd like you to please hit the like buttons, hit the follow button, leave a comment. I'd like to make this as interactive as possible. That would be very cool. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, uh, YouTube, all of that. And my website is travelmationmichael.com. So let's start with what is a group? A group in travel is typically 5 to 8 double occupancy rooms. So 10, 14, 16 people. And it could go up to 100 rooms in that group. But typically, it's the smaller amounts is the minimum that you need. What can a group be in group travel? It could be a family reunion, a family outing, maybe a multi-generational vacation, weddings, bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, anniversary parties, recommitment ceremonies, things like that. It could be a small business doing a retreat or a off-campus training, a business expo, um, team incentives. How about groups like bands, marching bands, schools, jazz band, choir, orchestra, cheer, football, stuff like that? That's all considered groups in travel. Church groups, sports teams, a fundraiser group, or an alumni group, maybe doing an alumni cruise would be very cool. Fantasy football groups, as well as speculative groups. And we're going to discuss what speculative groups are in just a few moments. So now, those are the different kind of groups. What can we do with those groups? Let's talk first about doing a group out at sea on a cruise. Um, there's several different types of cruise lines, and each one has a different attitude, a different take on how they represent cruising. You could do something like Carnival, where it's a party all the time. Their motto is fun. Norwegian is a very nice cruise line, a little bit more laid back, but still good for families. Same thing with Royal Caribbean. Princess, maybe a little bit for the older clientele. Where can we go on these cruises? So we could do destinations like the Caribbean, different ports in Mexico, either East Coast or West Coast, Alaska, Europe, Australia, depending on how extravagant you want to get. You could do a 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14 nights, just depending on what you are looking for. So there's a lot of things that you could really do on a cruise, and we're going to get into what you can do in just a moment. I just want to kind of talk about what cruises are. Next, let's talk about what else you can do with a group. All-inclusive resorts. You could go to the Caribbean. You could go to Mexico. How about a tour, like a road trip tour, like a bus tour across the US, Canada, Europe? There's a lot of different things when we talk water groups that we can do. And as a travel agent, I have a lot of connections through Travelmation's great connections to be able to help you in your group. So now I mentioned earlier speculative groups. And what is it? What is it? It's a mystery group. You don't know what it is. Let's say that you wanted to hold a fundraiser or a mixer or something. You can pre-book a certain amount of rooms on a cruise and try to sell those. I could do it as a travel agent. I can work with you and you try to sell those with me. And we could try to fill up a speculative group or a group of people to all go together on a cruise. So what we do is we pre-book, say, 10 rooms or 15 rooms or 20 rooms. And we're going to go and we're going to book it ahead of time, like a year in advance, to lock in that best price possible. And then we're going to try and sell those rooms at that absolute lowest price possible to try to get as many of either our friends or our group or our church groups, stuff like that, to go with us. Um, what would this be good for? How about a senior group or a club? Like a book club or a bunco group. Maybe all the ladies get their husbands together and go take a cruise, play bunco on the cruise. Um, or if you're an organization, boys and girls club or something to that effect, and you want to try to get all the parents together to do a cruise on a carnival and kid free time or something like that. That's what the groups are good for in the cruise. So what we do is we can pre-book staterooms, and we can even do different levels. So say that we want to do 5 inside rooms, 5 windows, 5 balconies, and maybe 1 suite, or maybe not a suite, but hey, go for big. And then we start to advertise that we have these at the absolute lowest rate. Book now. And we just try to sell them and fill up the group. The nice thing is, if you don't sell them all, the cruise lines are very good about helping you, not holding you to them. You just pay a small deposit up front for each room, and you got those rooms up until a certain date. Each cruise line has a little bit different dates. Um, yeah, so that's how we sell cruises. So let's talk about the cruise ship and what's included with this great package. But what's included? Your food, not just buffets, top-notch specialty foods, teppanyakis, steakhouses, fine Italian food, fine French food. All that stuff is included. Ice cream all day, all night, pizza at midnight, all included. Some drinks are included depending on the cruise line and what deals they have. Alcohol packages are available in addition as well. Entertainment. So you're going to have live bands, Broadway style shows, musicals, trivia, game shows, lots of entertainment while you're on that cruise. Some ships will even give you free meeting space with all the AV equipment that is needed. So if you're a business and you want to hold a training seminar, maybe you bring an author, or you bring the guy who created your software, or you bring a sales guy in to help work with your sales staff out at sea. The cruise lines will give you that meeting space with microphones, TVs, all that good stuff that you're going to need. They'll give it to you for free when you bring it on there. And the more people you bring, the more free stuff you get. That's what's great. What else does the cruise ship have? Pools, spas, some of the best massages you'll ever have, steam rooms, saunas, casinos, an excursion at every port you go to. There's a lot of fun that can be had on a cruise ship to keep your group entertained, not just while you're doing your activity together, but while they're off time, keeping them busy as well. Next, we talked about all-inclusive resorts. When people think all-inclusive resorts, what do they think? Can you put in the comments what you think an all-inclusive resort is? My mind before I started this gig was like Sandals, people going like to Jamaica, and it was like a honeymoon place. Well, that is what it is, but there's so much more as well. Sandals and beaches, Sandals being all adults, beaches being for families. They have some really cool things at these resorts. Lazy rivers, pools. Some of these resorts are like multiple resorts in one, where it's like a little city that you have full access to. You book your room in this one, but you got these ones over here as well that you can go to. Great restaurants, fantastic service. If you want to take it up a notch when you're there, maybe you're the person putting it on, you want to get the butler style room, and you got a butler waiting on you, hand and foot. All the food is included, all your drinks. Most of them have top shelf name brands as their wells. Some of the resorts even have specialties like the Caribbean rums that you can only get in the Caribbean. They have like whole Caribbean rum bars inside there. We talked about the pools, the lazy rivers, some of the bluest oceans you've ever seen. meeting areas, business areas. Weddings are extremely special out on the beach. And a lot of these resorts have wedding specialists that once you book, they'll work with you to build your dream wedding. And I haven't had my wedding out on the beach, but I think that would be fantastic. I was told that they're as cheap as like $300 extra after you get your rooms. And Sandals has a deal where if you bring in a certain amount of guests, your room's covered as the bride and groom. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool for that. Let's talk now. So we talked about cruising with groups, all inclusive with groups. I mean, I'd love to have a work meeting out on the beach. That'd be great. Bosses, if you're listening. Lastly, let's talk about land tours. What's a land tour? How about a bus tour or perhaps a train tour? Whether it's a top of the line Adventures by Disney or an intimate bus ride with 40 of your best friends, there's some great destinations on land tours we can do. National Geographic's expeditions, you can go to Costa Rica on a family journey, Iceland, Morocco, Peru, an African safari, a Swiss train ride to the Italian Lake District. How about a simple bus tour for 9 days from Boston to Maine on an autumn color tour looking at the fiery foliage of the flames of New England? Yeah, I had to look at that one. That's exactly what they call it. The Boston to Maine on an autumn color tour looking at the fiery foliage flames of New England. I can tell you right now, my wife would love that. If you've ever done that, put it in the comments below and please let me know. Or how about the Taste and Sounds of the South? 10 days on a USA food and music tour of Nashville, Memphis, and New Orleans. That would be a blast with a group of friends to do. So as you can see, there's a lot of options that you can do with friends in groups. If you have, a bingo group, or you're part of an association, a chamber of commerce, or you have like a business network mixer and you guys want to hold an out of the office retreat, I'm the guy that can help you. My name is Michael Salazar. If you have any questions about what we went over today, travel business, group travel, family travel, please give me a call. My website, travelmationmichael.com. My phone number is 480-206-4798. You can email me at michaelsalazar@travelmation.net. That's travel and animation, travelmation.net. Hit that like button. Leave me comments if you're watching this later. I'll reply to them as soon as I can. If you found great value in this episode, subscribe, follow, all that, the stuff that you're supposed to say on a YouTube video. Thank you so much. And you guys have a fantastic evening. I will be back next Monday with my mock itinerary Monday, and we'll see where we go from there. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much and have a fantastic evening.